want to welcome everybody back into KZSU 90.1 FM. Jimmy Garcia alongside me, Jack Schoenfeld, as the Cardinal have taken the first two sets 25-19 and then 25-21, in which the Cardinal are hitting 394. Jack, what has been the big key for the Cardinal in this one?
I think it's the general team chemistry. You see them picking each other up when someone makes a mistake, and it's just allowed the team to run smoothly and forcing the Trojans to be out of position. And you see these smart plays by Loretta Lutz, by India Janaku, by Adriana Fitzmaurice, finding the open holes and taking advantage of this honestly frazzled Trojan defense.
It's worth mentioning there's 10 minutes in between the second and the third set, and the Trojans came out with about 3.5 minutes left. They're warming up. The Cardinals team is still in the locker room. Got to be feeling confident. The Cardinals are a big fan of not overworking themselves. They want to make sure that their emotions and their bodies stay calm and cool to get everything out of their players. For the Trojans, though, they need to find a way to respond and to get some points right now. And for them, practice is what they need at this point.
And I think it's smart by Coach Dunning. You know, absolutely, they're going to respect this Trojan opponent who's proving to be very good, but Stanford are in a luxury to start to look forward to UCLA and eventually to the tournament coming up in a few weeks, where they want to use this set ideally to win and save their energy for Saturday, but use this set to just build on the team. You know, volleyball is all about the little things, so how can they work out the little mistakes so that in these final weeks they're playing their best volleyball?
As you mentioned, UCLA on Saturday, next weekend up in Arizona to face the Sun Devils and the Wildcats. And the Cardinal will come home Thanksgiving week to face Oregon and Cal to finish off the season. The game against Oregon is Wednesday the 23rd, so the day before Thanksgiving. And the final game of the year against Cal is on Friday, Black Friday. Get out and do some shopping, folks. And feel free to stop by Maples Pavilion for the last game of the year.
At least tune in to KZSU.
We always love the listeners. We always want to thank you guys. You guys make this happen. It's always a pleasure being able to call these games, and especially for a team that's doing so well right now in the Cardinal and are pressing the issue with the committee from the NCAA as well as the AVCA Coaches Committee, who now has the Cardinal at number 9 in the country, and the teams in front of them are pretty solid. Nebraska, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Kansas, as well as Texas. Those top 5 really aren't going to be moving a lot. If so, they're just going to be rotating positions, but for the most part, those 5 are going to stay at the top. San Diego, North Carolina, not too far behind. Some wiggle room there. And the Cardinal are at number 9 with Penn State at number 10. The Cardinal defeated Penn State earlier this year in the game out in Boulder, Colorado, as part of the Big Ten Pac-12 Challenge. I was able to bring that game to you guys here on 90.1 FM, in which the Cardinals swept the Nittany Lions, in which was really one of their big games. Huge game from Fitzmaurice, and Haley Hodson, who was still playing with the team, had 4 service aces in that game and was huge. Third set just set to get underway now here as the teams switch sides once again. The Cardinal are in front of us here at Maples Pavilion now.
Jimmy,
and as you were saying, Jack?
Like you said, you know, Cardinal were playing with confidence where the Trojans were playing with heart. And I think the Cardinal need to be careful not to let their confidence get the best of them and try and match that Trojan heart and finish out this match.
Withers gets the first point of the third set off of a big swing on the outside. And the Cardinal going to the tall, small lineup early to start off the set. It's been so effective the last 7 or 8 games, this unit out there, that it's hard for head coach John Dunning to really use anyone else to start off sets. Meyerwally in the game to serve. Hence for Gray. Far side, Plummer, big swing, but she sends it down and gets the kill. The ref kind of at first signaled that it may go to the Trojans, but after assuring with the line judge that it was in, the point goes to Stanford as Plummer will head back to serve now. Vonyak in the game for Holland McKenna. Plummer with a good serve here. Lanier from Meyerwally. Near side Abercrombie, dug out by Gray. Hence will set from the back line. 3 ball on it over. It's Plummer. Dug out by USC. Meyerwally struggles to get to it. For Ford, off the block. Ajanaku able to dig. Gray will set. Far side Lutz able to hit around the block. USC regains. Whittingham for Ford on the outside. And Ford crushes it out of bounds as Ajanaku and Lutz came down quick and signaled to the referee that they did not touch that one at all.
Absolutely right. Smart play from Lutz at the net. She saw the ball was going long. Let it go.
Plummer back to serve, near right corner. The 6'6" freshman sends it way long. Service error. And that's to be expected from a young team. Some service errors. You'd like them to clean that up a little bit, especially with the Bruins coming in here on Saturday. The Cardinal need to be at their best to beat a good team in UCLA. The set comes near side for Vonyak. Hence able to dig. Gray for Ajanaku up the middle, dug out by the Trojans. And it goes to the far side for Lanier, who gets a kill on the cross-court swing.
And that's exactly what I like to see from Hence. She knew she could have gotten that ball. She told her teammate she's going to get it, and now we look to see her make up for that mistake.
Ford back on to serve. Hence for Gray up the middle goes Ajanaku, and she mishits it as she was going to get a lot of ball on that one. That was a good swing, but just a little bit short. Only her second hitting error, though, of the night. It's 4-2 early on for the Trojans, up by 2 here in the third as Ford goes back to serve. Sends it out of bounds, service error, and that's a big mistake, as really that's their, I want to say, 4th or 5th service error of this game.
It's been the story of the Trojans all along. Just as they start to establish themselves early on, a weak service error allows for the Cardinal to come right back into this one.
Hence with a good serve forward for Meyerwally, far side Lanier, and Hence unable to dig that one, but I don't know anyone in the nation who could dig that ball.
That's a great kill from Lanier. You got to give it to her on that one.
Khalil Lanier in double-digit kills now at 11. Ajanaku at 9, and Plummer has 8 in this one. With Whittingham back to serve. The righty gets a good one down, Hence for Gray, far side Lutz, big swing on the outside, and she gets the kill off the cross-court swing. And checking into the game for Moretta Lutz will be Kelsey Humphreys. Humphreys, one of 2 seniors on the team. Her and Ajanaku will be missed dearly by everyone here on the farm. Good serve here. Meyerwally will set for Ruddins, and Hence was able to get a hand on it, but it falls way over on the bench. And point to the Trojans. 6-4, the Cardinals' offense has not established itself so far.
They've got to start with
in
the
this
pass.
set. The back line has struggled a bit this game. Catherine Plummer not at her best by a long shot in this one. Kitsagola goes back to serve from the far middle part of the court. Plummer has to dig. Gray will set far side for Vonyak, who gets a big swing and a kill on the outside.
There we go. Fantastic play by the Cardinal. Bring it in, getting the important kill.
And Plummer switching to the back line has been a big transition for her. She even told us a couple weeks ago when we had her on for a post-game interview that it's been one of the hardest transitions she's had to make in volleyball, as she's never played the position and is really out of place, but doing a good job here. Lanier on the swing, and she's blocked down by Fitzmaurice, and Gray. That's your setter going up strong.
Really big when you're running a 5-1. You run the risk when your setter's in the front row, but huge difference maker when Gray can get up and support that team block.
Hall McKenna with a great serve. Pizzagola will set up the middle, goes Ruddins. McKenna able to dig. Gray will send near side for Plummer. Her roll shot blocked back down. The Cardinal recover. Gray's there to tip it over. Ford able to dig it out. Pizzagola will set. Up the middle goes Ruddins, and she hits it long. And the Cardinal are back up now 7-6.
Really exciting to see this Cardinal offense who just don't give up. Another long point like that, they come out victors.
The energy here in Maples, undeniably incredible this tonight. Lanier struggles with a serve, going a long way to get it. Lanier's gonna have to 3-ball it over. Hence, for Gray, pushes it over. Whittingham can't get to it. Pizzagola and Lanier will get the kill. And the Cardinal were confused as to why it was not a 4-hit. And that's kind of why they weren't going for it. They wanted Lanier just to hit it. And
Honestly,
nonetheless.
I thought there were 5 touches
Yeah,
on that
I
one.
mean, the Trojans were really getting after it. Lanier on to serve, overpass, and Ruddins is there to hit it back down. And now USC back up by 1, 8-7. Bad pass from the back line there.
Listen, this is a big test for the Cardinal. They're still got a lot to play for, and they got to show that they can stick together.
Lanier with a bad serve goes straight off the tape and down. It's worth mentioning the Cardinal are 16-6 this year, but only 6-4 at home. They have not played their best here at Maples. 8-2 on the road, and with that kind of numbers, the Cardinal are excited for a possible trip in this NCAA tournament where they played so well on the road. Serve goes long from Adriana Fitzmaurice, and it's a service error. It's now 9-8.
Teams exchanging errors like that, these next couple points become that much more important to see who can start to pull away.
Ruddins on the serve. McKenna able to dig. Gray will set near side for Plummer. Big swing from the outside, and she gets the kill near side.
Wow. Saw 6-6 right there. The freshman Catherine Plummer getting up and slamming it down.
We just talked about Kalia Lanier's big swing and how Hens couldn't get to that one. And right there, no one was stopping Catherine Plummer with her 9th kill of the match. Gray on to serve, it's a good one. Pizzagola up the middle goes done, dug out by USC. Pizzagola will set far side for Ford. McKenna able to get a hand on it. Hence will have to set near side. 3-ball it over will be Plummer. SC sets for Withers near side, block back down. Ajanaku and Plummer combined for the big block.
It's fantastic play by the Cardinal, getting that block up, pressing over the net, and forcing that ball right back down into the Trojan defense.
10-9, Stanford back up by 1 here in the third. Gray back to serve from the near right corner. The atmosphere here in Maples, electric. Whittingham struggles. Pizzagola will set far side for Ford. Hence able to dig. Gray will set far side for Lutz. Around the block, she hits Whittingham, able to dig. Far side for Ford, and she gets the kill as McKenna and Hens kind of come together. And it's 10-10.
But even on an error like that, that's what a coach likes to see. You'd rather have both players going for the ball, neither get it, than neither players go for the ball and that ball hits the ground.
Meyer-Wally back to serve. Far left corner, the righty. Gets a good one down. McKenna for Gray. Near side, Lutz hits around the block. Able to dug out, though, by SC. They set for Ford on the outside, who gets a big kill off of a cross-court swing.
Wow. Trojans are not going down easy. That's a big kill by Ford.
Elise Ford at only 5'10", one of the smaller players at the outside hitter position, but showing that size didn't really matter there. Hence, for Gray, far side Plummer, and a hitting error on the part of the Cardinal right there. And for Stanford, I wouldn't surprise me if they set for a Janaku off of a slide. We haven't really seen a single slide all game tonight.
Normally the bread and butter for a Janaku. I'd like to see that come from Gray.
We'll see it, maybe a service error on the part of Meyer-Wally. It looks like Ajanaku's taped up pretty heavily this game. She might be fighting a bit of a lower body injury, and that might be why they don't have her running around as much.
Yeah, based on her tape, looks like it's somewhere in her calf that looks to be a bit tight, which can prevent her from, like you said, getting out for that slide.
Plummer back to serve. Gets a good one down here. Ford for Meyer-Wally. The set back for Ford on the outside. Goes the way of the Trojans as the block falls out of bounds. 13-11, USC not giving up. And for the Cardinal, they've blown 2 games this year at home in which they've led up 2-0. That was the first game against San Diego and against Purdue. Ford on the serve, gets it to go out of bounds. It looked like it just got the line right there. Jack, you had a better perspective, but from my angle, it looked like it was in.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I thought that ball was in.
I was about to call it as a service ace. It looked like it just clipped inside the line. Line judge not giving it to the Trojans. 13-12, Hence with a good serve here. Ford from Meyer-Wally. Near side, Abercrombie dug out. Gray for Hens. Far side, Lutz. The finesse shot off the tape, back on the side of the Cardinal. Gray will set for Lutz. Big swing there. And SC will have to 3-ball it over. Gray for Fitzmaurice. Abercrombie able to dig. Meyer-Wally for Lanier on the outside, gets a kill. Head coach John Dunning is up, asking for the 4-hit, in which we all kind of saw it here. Lanier with a big smile on that one. She was smiling as the ball from Lutz originally trickled along the tape. A funny play, but USC capitalizing on a error on the referees right there, not seeing the 4-hit. Whittingham back to serve. The libero for the Trojans. Plummer with a good dig. Gray sets far side for Lutz. Big swing, and she gets a kill for the Cardinal there.
There we go. Lutz was starting to get comfortable with her tips and roll shots. Great to see her come back, show that big arm, get a big time kill.
The Cardinal in their home white uniforms with Cardinal colored lettering. USC in their road red and yellow. Humphreys in the game to serve. Gets a good one down here. Ford struggles. Lanier's gonna have to set for Abercrombie. Hence able to dig. Gray sets near side Vonyak. Big swing dug out by the Cardinal. Gray for Vonyak once again. Whittingham able to dig. Meyer-Wally will set for Lanier. Dug out by Hens. Gray sets for Fitzmaurice. And the Cardinal get the kill as the block goes out of bounds. Great volleyball right now, Jack, on both teams.
Absolutely fun to watch with a great crowd here at Maples Pavilion. Seen a great matchup, the Stanford Cardinal and the USC Trojans.
This one's all tied up at 14 all. Here in the third, the Cardinal lead 2-0 overall. Service error from Kelsey Humphreys. It's 15-14, media timeout is taken, and we're gonna take one as well here on 90.1 FM. Jimmy Garcia, Jack Schoenfeld, and we'll be right back with the rest of the third set. Thanks for listening.
For over 2 decades, our beloved Cardinal have dominated the collegiate athletics landscape. From Pac-12 conference matchups to bowl games and NCAA tournaments, KZSU has been right there with them like family. Stanford Athletics is a family you too can join and support. The Buck Cardinal Club was started in 1934 and it still continues to this day to support over 900 student athletes. By joining the Buck Cardinal Club, you can help them on and off the field and throughout the Stanford community. To find out more about the Buck Cardinal Club, go to buckcardinal.com. Your gift will help our athletes as we take on championships, bowl games, tournaments, and more. Thank you, and go Stanford!
Welcome back into KZSU 90.1 FM. Jimmy Garcia, Jack Schoenfeld, 15-14. This third set's been a bit of a dogfight for both teams. Stanford really struggling passing the ball, and USC capitalizing. Khalil Lanier with 13 kills in this one has stepped it up here in the third set. And they're hitting a lot better too. They are hitting 261 on offense is the Trojans with 10 kills and 4 hitting errors in this set. The Cardinal though hitting 345 but only 190 in this set.
And like you said, it is a dogfight, but the Cardinal have been able to win those long rallies. And I think that's going to be the difference here for the Stanford Cardinal in set 3.
Pizzagola back to serve. The righty gets a good one down here, Hence. For Gray, far side Vonyak off the block, dug out by the Cardinal. Gray for Hence, near side Fitzmaurice, roll shot, trying to find the court and unable. Pizzagola for Withers, blocked back down by Vonyak and Fitzmaurice near side.
That's a fantastic block by Vonyak. You see it, she's got a big smile on her face as she comes to the bench.
The ninth block of the game for Stanford, third of this set. As we mentioned, they lead the nation in blocks per set at right around 3.4 per game. Pizzagola for Ruddins up the middle. And they get the kill up the middle. And that's a tough call right there, as it looked like it may have gone out a little bit. And the line judge giving the point to the Trojans, 16-15. Different story here in the third. Lanier back to serve. The freshman sensation. Gray will set far side for Fitzmaurice, who gets a big swing down and finds the court on the outside. And Ajanaku will sub in the game for Hens. This is one of those weird lineups where the Cardinal play with no libero out on the court. And they do struggle a little bit without Morgan on the court. We'll see how they can handle themselves here. Fitzmaurice with a good serve. Whittingham for pizza goal up the middle goes Ruddins, but hits it just long.
Ruddins saw the open court, but she just was not able to execute enough to get the point. Now Stanford up 17-16. Fitzmaurice back to serve.
And timeout is taken by USC as it's 17-16 now for the Cardinal. Jack, what's been your big takeaway from this game for the Cardinal going forward with UCLA coming in on Saturday?
Listen, I think what's been fantastic all along for the past few games for the Cardinals is the distribution. You see you've got Jenna Gray setting 5 different hitters, each averaging about 15 attacks. Far different from this really linear, forward-heavy Trojan offense, and that has translated to block. The Cardinal outblocked the Trojans 9-3. I think that's because Jenna Gray keeps the Trojans guessing as opposed to Maya Lowry, who makes a pretty predictable Trojan offense.
The Trojans, as you mentioned, a little bit easier to figure out with their offense. They don't have the big killers like the Cardinal do, or at least not as many as the Cardinal do. Stanford has so many different options offensively with Plummer, Ajanaku, Fitzmaurice, Lutz, and Vonyak. That's a big 5 right there. But Stanford missing 2 of their best players out to injury. Haley Hodson, if you guys are forgetting, had over 420 kills last season in her freshman campaign. Michaela Keith as well out right now with injury, is sort of practicing a lot more with the team and would be a nice return late in the season if she can come back. But Stanford gonna have a lot of weapons going forward as this team looks to make a deep tournament run this year and are stacked going forward. Top recruiting class this year, and you can see how great they play together. 17-16, Stanford up by 1 here in a nail-biting third set. Fitzmaurice back to serve now. Gets a good one down here. Lanier for Pizzagola. Far side for Ford off the block. And she gets the kill as Fitzmaurice from the back line tried to dive to get that one. And that's what happens when you have someone 6'6" trying to dive to recover. And Fitzmaurice really on the back line there, playing way out of position. Ruddins on the serve. McKenna for Gray. Near side Plummer, and she's blocked down by Dunn. On the solo block there, it's now 18-17. And for Stanford, really, Inky Ajanaku hasn't seen the ball a lot at all here in this third set. Ruddins, McKenna for Gray. Here goes Ajanaku up the middle, and she gets her 10th kill of the night for Stanford.
But have to commend Ajanaku. Back-to-back games now. She is just so efficient. She's only been set 14 times, but has 10 kills out of those 14 sets. Really fantastic from the redshirt senior.
18-18, Stanford going back to that starting unit, the tall, small. Gray with a good serve forward for Pizzagola. Back for Ford on the outside. And she hits straight through the block on that one, as Ajanaku and Lutz formed a big wall right there. This is an effective lineup for Stanford, but struggling a bit here in the third as the Trojans have hit a lot more efficiently. That's a big takeaway, efficiency for them. Meyerwally on the serve. McKenna with a good dig. Gray will set near side for Lutz. Big swing, Whittingham able to dig. Meyerwally will set once again for Ford on the outside. And it's now a 2-point lead at 20-18. And head coach John Dunning for the Cardinals going to take a timeout here, as the Cardinal don't want to let this one slip. USC unranked this week, but they sit at the number 27 position in the country. And this is a team that you don't want to let back in or have any sort of momentum, as with players like Kalia Lanier and Ford can make you pay down the stretch.
Got the Cardinal coaches here trying to figure out what is going to be the difference. They're down 20-18. They've got to close this set out. Otherwise, we could go 4, maybe 5. That's not what they want right now. For me, I think the difference is McKenna in the backcourt shifting a little bit to her left, picking up Ford on the backside with her big-time kill, and additionally the blocks up front. They've got to get out there and close it down.
That's a good point about being a little bit out of position on the back line, because when Ajanaku and Lutz go up together, it's hard for most people to hit straight through that. So they're gonna hit around. It looks like the Cardinal are not really understanding that that's why they're out of position. And Ford's been able to find the ground a couple times so far on plays where the Cardinal were just out of position defensively. Hard to fault Morgan Hintz at all, though. She's played so well tonight, 15 digs. The freshman libero doing a great job of controlling the back line of the Cardinal. Really the heart and soul of this defense. When you think about the Cardinal defensively, you think about the big block that they've had for years here on the farm. But right now, Morgan Hintz is really one of their best players defensively. There's very few balls that she can't dig, and that play on the back line just is so impressive. Meyer-Wally back to serve, 20-18, the Cardinal down by 2 here in the third. From the far left corner, Meyer-Wally goes. Plummer with a bad dig. Gray has to go a long way to set it. Near side for Plummer. Meyer-Wally able to dig. Whittingham's gonna have to set. Near side for Abercrombie, blocked back down. Meyer-Wally for Lanier on the back line. Hintz able to get to it. Gray's gonna have to go a long way. Through ball and over will be McKenna. Meyer-Wally will set far side for Ford. Hintz can't get to it as her dig attempt falls out of bounds. 21-18. The Cardinal have been so dominant as of late. The game against Colorado back on Friday, they were up 2 sets to none. They dropped the third, able to rebound in the fourth. Meyer-Wally here gets it off the tape and it falls out of bounds. Service error. And that's going to keep Stanford in it a little bit, 21-19. Totally doable, Jack.
That's a gift right there from the Trojans. Now Plummer back to serve with a great front three in Ajanaku, Vonyak, and Lutz. Like to see the Cardinal take advantage of that gift.
This is a big team out there for the Cardinal at the moment. Defense is where they want to go. Ford struggles to get to it. They set way out of bounds. Lanier, 3-balling it over. Hintz for Gray, up the middle goes Ajanaku, able to be dug out by Meyer-Wally. They set far side for Ford, and she's blocked out by Lutz and Ajanaku on the outside.
Fantastic. That is just what you want to see. As the Cardinal were starting to fall into their heels, you get a great block from Loretta Lutz, taking care of business for this Cardinal team.
Just what the doctor ordered. Plummer back to serve. Another good one down here. Lanier struggles. The set goes far side for Ford. Blocked down once again. Lutz and Ajanaku. A little bit of deja vu for the Cardinal right now.
I think I've seen that before. Fantastic play. That has really been the difference. 11-4 in blocks. The Cardinal team is getting up there. The middle blocker is getting out and supporting their team, and these blocks are making a huge, huge difference.
21-21, the Cardinal have tied it in the third, getting it done defensively, and the last 2 blocks basically identical. Ford has been the one that they're going to on the outside, but it looks like we had talked about the back line of the Cardinal maybe being out of place, but it looks like head coach John Dunny for the Cardinal has maybe shifted the block a little bit, because the last 2 plays, it's been hit straight into it. And wow, oh wow, has the block looked nice tonight.
Absolutely, and with these big blocks like that, it really makes a difference for the back line. Now, very likely, Ford might be thinking twice about trying to slam into the block. Now she's more likely to tip a roll shot. Much easier for that Stanford defense to pick up and therefore attack.
The Cardinal, the best blocking team per set in the nation. They have 11 in the game tonight, but 5 in this set to the Trojans 1. By far, USC's out-hitting the Cardinal in this set, though. It's 15-8, and the Trojans are out-hitting the Cardinal by kills just in the game. It's 44-40, but if you look at the errors compared to the percentages, and that's what speaks volumes for the Cardinal, with only 9 hitting errors in the game so far to the Trojans 20. USC has had 10 more attempts, though, at 105-95.
Although also important to note, Trojans with 8 service errors to Stanford's mere 4 service errors. Those extra points can be just the difference in a tight game like this at Mavis Williams.
Plummer back to serve. We're tied up at 21 all. Gets a good one down here. Lanier struggles. Meyer-Wally will set for Abercrombie. Hintz able to dig. Gray will set near side for Vonyak. Big swing on the outside. And the Cardinal are back up by 1.
Fantastic by Vonyak. She got that elbow real high, allowed her to get the maximum power, hitting it down the line. Too much from Mayawali.
Plummer back to serve, 22-21. Maples is electric right now. Fans on the edge of their seats. Lanier from Mayawali. From the back line goes Lanier. Plummer able to dig, overpass though. Whittingham from Mayawali, far side forward. The block's there, but the goes just out of bounds. We were getting excited here as the block was there once again. You watch that on replay, and Ford had flashbacks to the last couple of points. 22-22. Elise Ford back to serve. Hence for Gray. Far side Lutz, big swing. Able to get to it was Ford. Mayawali will set near side. Abercrombie and Plummer's dig attempt sails into the third row, far side. And now the Trojans are up by 1. Timeout taken on the court. We're going to take one here on 90.1 FM. When we come back, we'll bring you the rest of the third set. It's 23-22 for the Trojans. Thanks for listening, and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Nick Sullivan with KZSU Sports. It's been a fantastic ride for the Cardinal in the last few years, and KZSU has been there with you all the way. We're a student-run organization, and we need your help to continue broadcasting all the great Stanford sports. Please send us a donation by mail to KZSU, P.O. Box 20190, Stanford, California 94309. That's KZSU, P.O. Box 20190, Stanford, California 94309. Or you can click the donate link on KZSU's webpage at kzsu.stanford.edu. Thanks for all your support, and go Stanford!
Welcome back into KZSU 90.1 FM. Jimmy Garcia alongside me, Jack Schoenfeld. 23-22, Jack. USC back up by 1. What do the Cardinals need to do out of the timeout to regain the lead?
I think it's just believe in the system. Dunning has set up a great team here, and it's out on the court, and they perform well, and they just have to believe in themselves. Each one of them just do their part. I think that'll be enough here for the Cardinals.
Your big word for Stanford was confidence. It'd be big to see if they can show that here. Ford back to serve from the far right corner. Hence with a bad dig. Gray going a long way for Vonyak. Hitting it around the block. Ford able to get to it. And it goes out of bounds as Dunn got a hand on it and sent it out of bounds trying to save it. And we're tied up at 23. We played at 25. You got to win by 2. So if Stanford is able to get the next point, they need to win 2 in a row, essentially, to put away the Trojans. Hence with a good serve here, Ford. Mayawali from the back line will set near side, off the block, Hence able to dig. Gray sets near side, Vonyak, big swing, but she's blocked down by Dunn. In there as well was Abercrombie, and now it's 24-23, set point for the Trojans. This is a nail-biting third set with Whittingham back to serve. You got to win by 2. Stanford looking to force extra points. Plummer for Gray. Near side for Lutz. Off the block, Whittingham. Mayawali. Lanier on the outside. Hence able to dig. Gray will set. From the back line goes Plummer. Her roll shot dug out. Mayawali for Lanier. And she gets the kill, and we're going to go 4. And what an interesting way to end it as the Cardinal lose 25-23. They struggled a bit there in the third. Jack, what did the Cardinal do kind of wrong there?
Honestly, it almost was like they were built up and their bubble just popped. This team is deflated. They've got to find a